This is CHSR 97.9 FM here in Fredericton, New Brunswick, Canada. This is Python's Paradise, your film and music show. And this is your host, Greg Gilbert, a.k.a. the Python Hyena. And folks, I have a wonderful guest on the phone with me today. It was a year ago, January, I had Harrison Page on here to talk about Beyond the Valley of the Dolls. Well, I have the most beautiful part of the movie on here today. I have the lead singer of the Carrie Nations. I have the gorgeous, the beautiful redhead. She's stunningly beautiful, and she's still lovely today. I have Dolly Read Martin on the phone. How do you do, Dolly?
Hi, Greg. Boy, what a great introduction. I'm cavelling. That's fantastic. Thank you.
Yes, I want to say a special thanks to your assistant, Lori, for helping hook this up.
She's wonderful, isn't she?
She is, yes. I love it when people...
She worked for Frank Sinatra for 37 years, so I feel great that I stole her.
Oh, gee, that must have been something to work for him.
Wasn't it, though? Boy, you should interview her sometime.
You know what? I should.
Yeah.
Frank Sinatra. Yes.
Yeah.
There's a name from the past.
Boy, I tell you, he was wonderful. We used to, him and his wife, they lived on Broad Beach Road in Malibu, where I lived for 49 years. And we used to play poker every Sunday. And it was such fun because he wouldn't play with us. I mean, there was Gregory Peck and Veronique Peck and the Dr. Javens and Angie Dickinson and we would play, and then Frank would come in wearing pajamas, and he would throw popcorn at us, and he'd say, "This is an illegal game, and I'm going to call the cops." He was wonderful.
Oh, I love Gregory Peck.
Yeah.
And love Angie Dickinson.
Oh, gosh, she was wonderful.
I loved her in Dressed to Kill. Loved her.
Oh, gosh. Yeah. Do you know, I call her every now and again because I just want to hear her say, "Hello." It's the way she says it. I can't possibly say it the way she does, but she's so sexy. Even at her age now, she's so sexy.
You know what? It's interesting because I have been struggling to get somebody on here from Dressed to Kill. You know, I wonder, does she do these kind of things?
I bet she would. I would be happy to talk to her for you.
Yeah, because I've been wanting to highlight Dressed to Kill on here, and I think it's just...
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, I'll certainly give her all your information.
Absolutely, please do.
I'm going to be seeing her in a couple of weeks, so that would be great.
Well, you know what? That's good. You'll be experienced on here, so you'll be able to tell her that I don't bite.
Okay.
Yeah.
That sounds ominous.
I don't bite, no. Well, it's interesting because you mentioned Frank Sinatra, and he was married to Mia Farrow, and it's like I was to go do a 50th anniversary for Rosemary's Baby, and like so many people are gone from that movie.
That amazing.
The problem with getting Mia, though, like I reached out to her on Twitter, but with the whole Woody Allen thing and whatnot, I can be trusted because I don't care for the media and the tabloids. Because people that listen to my show, they will hear about the movies.
That's right.
And it's hard to get people like that to trust you because they've been had so many
right.
times. Yeah.
I just did a whole interview. It was about 4 hours in the end, and the photographer came and took pictures. It was with an English journalist. Mm-hmm. And she was so sweet and so adorable. But when the article came out, half of it was wrong, and half of it was just not how I had said it. So I just don't trust journalists particularly.
Well, you know what? I edit here if I need to. I had one guest come on here and he gave his email address out twice, which is why I record and don't do live.
Ah, yeah. Yeah, good thinking.
Yep.
Yeah.
But Yeah, I protect my guest, and
Yeah, thank you for that. That's super.
and plus Harrison Page has been on here, so
Oh, I love Harrison.
Harrison's wonderful.
He's such a nice guy, and as nice as he is, he's a great actor.
He
He's
is.
a super guy. When Dick was alive, he apparently, my husband Dick Martin, he directed Harrison in a couple of shows, and he said, "This lovely boy," he said, "is just so sweet." And I said, "Well," and he said, "He knows you," and I said, "Really?" It's a small world, isn't it?
Yeah. But you know what? With Angie Dickinson and Frank Sinatra aside, we're going to talk about some Beyond the Valley of the Dolls.
Ah,
Yeah.
yes, my goodness, that was something, wasn't it?
I got it on Blu-ray, and I gotta say, what an interesting movie, and how it's interesting. Like Austin Powers had referenced it, and Phantom of the Paradise referenced it. It's one of those movies.
Yeah. Well, Roger Ebert and Russ Meyer wrote that.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, how hip they are.
Yes. Well, I love the movie. I love the music. Like I said, the Criterion did a wonderful. I think it was Criterion that did the latest Blu-ray, and it's just sharp, and it's stunning to look at, and all the vibrant colors.
Wow. That's fabulous.
Yes.
I must get that then.
Oh yeah. I grabbed it the moment I saw it in the store, and I love the music in it. I mean, Stu Phillips did so many great songs in that.
Wasn't he? I wish I knew whereabouts he is now, because he was such a great guy, and had his work cut out for showing me what to do.
Okay.
But you see, it fulfilled a fantasy for me, because I always wanted to be a rock star, and so it just filled a fantasy for me. It was wonderful. And did you hear the story about how when I went for the interview for Beyond the Valley of the Dolls?
I don't think so. Refresh my memory.
Well, I was driving a brown Dodge Dart, and it was with the push buttons. It was really an old clunker, and I really was broke. I mean, really broke, and I was chugging up Pico Boulevard in Los Angeles up to 20th Century Fox, and chugging up there, and there was this huge sign. It was Barbra Streisand had just done "Hello, Dolly." It was this huge sign, and it said "Hello, Dolly," and I knew I was going to get the part. I just knew it. That was an omen. That was terrific. And I really went for apparently Cynthia Meyer's role of Casey, but I got Kelly instead.
Well, I'm glad you got Kelly. You get to survive.
That's right. I don't want to be shot in the mouth.
No. Oh, man, I gotta say, you are so gorgeous in that movie. I love when you're at the dinner table with, I'm trying to look up here who played Susan Blake here. Phyllis.
Phyllis Davis.
Yeah, Phyllis Davis. You're at the table, and I just love your complexion, your beautiful smile, and your eyes are so wide with excitement and enthusiasm,
Oh, but Russ said to us, "Do not blink."
Oh.
Before every take, he said, "Don't blink, don't blink," and it was. And if we did, he'd cut and do it again, and so it looked like my eyes were coming out of my head at some point. But I don't know why that was.
Yeah, I don't get that.
But he got it.
Yeah, you just had this enthusiasm, and it made you very comical too, and very lovable. Yeah.
Yeah, in fact, Russ wouldn't let us see the dailies at all because we went to see one daily. And after that, he said, "That's it. You're not going any more dailies," because we would say, "Oh, why did I do that? Why did I say that?" And he said, "You don't get it yet, so you're not coming to any of the dailies." And so he turned out to be right.
Well, you know what? I think you guys all did a fine job. And going back to the music, like I love that song "Find It," what a great opening
Isn't that
catch.
terrific?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I loved it, too. It's fabulous. I really enjoyed doing the movie, too. Apart from the fact that I would have done any movie at that point because I was broke. But it just was, fate was taking a hand. And Lynn Carrie, her voice is just magnificent.
Oh, come on. We want to believe you did it.
Well, I was singing, but they didn't use my voice, but I was belting it out there.
Well, did you have a favorite song in that movie?
Actually, Find It was my favorite song, but the gentle, Come with the Gentle People, I love that.
Yep.
And I love Sweet Talking Candy Man.
Yes.
I love that. And in the long run, of course, that was
Strawberry Alarm Clock.
Transition songs, yeah.
It's funny because Strawberry Alarm.
Up at the bottom too. In fact, I like them all. Stu did a hell of a job.
Oh yeah, Strawberry Alarm Clock was also featured in Austin Powers as well.
They were fabulous. I would never have imagined myself singing with the Strawberry Alarm Clock. It was incredible.
Well, they have a great sound of the 60s and 70s.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
boy, that was a great era.
Oh yeah, I was born in 1972, yeah. I
was born in 1944.
Holy cow! You're older than my parents.
I'm an old dog now.
Yeah, but you still look good.
Thank you.
I seen a Facebook picture of you at a desk signing something, so I know you look good.
Oh, thank you. Well, I've got Dick to thank for a lot of that because I really believe that laughter is the greatest medicine in the world, and he made me laugh every day. Not because he told jokes; he never told a joke, but his attitude and things wicked what he got up to, and it was. I just love to laugh, and I really believe that is the best medicine in the world.
Absolutely.
He did give me a couple of wrinkles, mind you, but but I hope I'm aging okay. I'm going to be 74 in September.
Yeah, and you still look younger than me.
Oh, love your heart. I'd like to see a picture of you. And
well, you could see me on Facebook. We're connected on Facebook.
We are. I'm gonna go right to your page as soon as I get off of here.
Yeah, actually, it was one of my interview guests that took a picture of my profile picture.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I actually have lived in New Brunswick here for 45 years. It was last November. I had this woman on twice on my show, and she invited me to go to Toronto to a horror film convention, and she asked me to be her assistant, and I could not turn her down. I could not turn her down. I had to go.
No, of course you couldn't.
And
oh my goodness, how fabulous!
Yep, and I was a fan of this actress since the 80s, so it was just an honor. And she invited me to come back again this year for the convention, so...
Wow, and where is that?
It's Toronto.
Toronto, wow, fabulous.
Yeah.
Wow, what a kick.
Yeah, it was my first time flying at... and she just asked me, she said, "What's stopping you from doing this?" And I was like, you know what? What is stopping me?
That's right. Got to go for it.
Do you ever do the conventions?
Huh?
Do you ever do the conventions?
No, I've been to some autograph shows, but I went to New York and did something there for a couple of days. But no, I haven't. No one's asked me actually, so I haven't gone.
Because I was thinking, like right now, like the actress it was Lisa Langlois, a Canadian actress I was connected with, and she's getting me connected with the guy in charge of Horror Rum, and I was thinking, gee, they should get the Carrie Nations out to that,
There
you know?
you go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be.
I can't believe that Cynthia Myers passed away. She was such a beautiful girl. But it's Marcia McBroom. I'm still good friends with her. We keep in touch, and she and her husband, they come and stay with me sometimes. And I've just moved out. I was in Malibu for 29 years, and I left there, and I'm in October. I'm living in Westlake Village now. On the water, and I just love it. I've got to be near water.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I want to thank you for the autograph picture. You know,
Oh, you're welcome.
Yeah. Well, I don't know how tech savvy you are because I tried to message you on Facebook through Messenger, and I don't know if you were.
Terrible. I am such a doofus. I'm scared to death of the computer.
Okay.
I do it. And I text sometimes, and then I have a go, and sometimes it doesn't go through, and then I just say to hell with it.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad we connected because I was so you were on my bucket list. I really wanted to have you on, so this was wonderful.
Oh, that's lovely.
And I saw on their Facebook where you could mail out for autographs, and I don't know what happened to the first one I sent it. Yeah, but
I don't either. That's my post office box because obviously I don't want mail coming to the house here, and it's just across the road from me. And I kept going in there and saying, well, are you sure it's not here? And then I went down to the beach where my other post office box was, and it wasn't there. So I don't understand. Did you send anything that I should tear up if I get it?
Actually, you know what? If you get it, just send another autograph. Just to do the same thing as before.
I wonder what happened to it.
I don't know. I think Westlake. I think on your Facebook was one word in one, and then two words in another. Maybe I screwed something up or something, you know. But nonetheless, they won't let me put return postage for some weird reason. So that's why I put the money order higher.
Oh, to cover I see. They won't let you do that, huh?
I used to do it for years, and I don't know why they won't let you do that anymore. But so anytime I send out for autographs from guests, I'll add on to the money order. That way it takes care of the postage on your end.
That's very sweet of you. That's lovely. I love getting every time I know when my movie is being shown because I get this huge amount of mail, and they at the post office box they said your movie must have been shown because I get it from Germany and France and Russia even, but people are so wonderful. Lori, my assistant, she said to me, I can't believe all your fans, she said, how wonderful they are. And every letter's just adorable. So when people don't send stamped addressed envelopes, and if the letter is just adorable, then I do send the photographs back. But I still would prefer people to send stamped addressed envelopes. It makes it easier for me.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, some reason they won't let us do it there, so that's why I put the added onto the money order. I figured that would take care of that. And help it on your
Yes, of
end.
course. Yeah, it was very sweet of you, and you needn't have done that. It was very sweet.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, it makes it easier on your end. So, yeah.
Yeah. Now, have you ever heard of whatever happened to David Gurion? Harris. He played Harris in the movie.
Oh, David
No one
Guerin.
ever heard whatever happened to him.
You know what? It's interesting because I was going to ask you about him. Of course, he played the manager.
Yeah, he plays my love interest. Yeah.
Lucky him.
And one of my love interests, I should say. And yeah, but he was such a sweetheart, such a lovely guy. But we all figured that he must be in Tibet somewhere because he was just adorable. But no one's ever heard of anything about him.
I'll have to look him up.
And John Lazar is a terrific actor too. Boy,
Yeah.
is he good?
Oh, yeah. The Z-Man, the Superwoman.
Yeah.
You know, that was pre-Tim Curry Rocky Horror right there.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, what a bizarre performance that he gave, and so interesting.
Yeah, it was great. I went to a showing of Beyond the Valley of the Dolls about 6 months ago, and took a couple of people with me because I thought, there's not going to be anyone there, and I'm just going to feel like an idiot. It was jammed. The place was jammed, and I was so surprised, and everyone got it, if you know what I mean. They
yeah.
got where we were going with it. And it was such a fresh delight for me to see how other people reacted to it. It was wonderful.
Yeah. Well, what was it like working with John Lazar in that very bizarre performance?
It was great. He's just a seasoned actor, and he's just a lovely guy. We all had such fun. It was, and I had just met my husband, who was going to be my husband, and so I was in love when I was doing that, but so I didn't party quite as much as other people did, but we had more laughs and more fun, and we had rehearsals for it was like a month where I was learning to play the guitar, and Marcia was learning the drums, and Cynthia was on her guitar, and we had to learn all the lines and from the songs and stuff, and we had more fun. I can't begin to tell you. And it was such a joy to go to 20th Century Fox every day.
Yes. Well, you know, it was directed, of course, by Russ Myers, who was, who, of course, did Faster Pussycat Kill Kill and Valley of the Dolls, and here he is, Vixen, you know, and here he is doing Beyond the Valley of the Dolls. What an interesting guy. What was he like to work with?
He was tough to work with. I wish he was such a pussycat away from the set. Just a pussycat. In fact, my parents came to America to see me while the movie was being shot. And his mother lived near San Francisco. So he drove my mother and my father and me to San Francisco, and then we stayed there, and he went to see his mom. He was just so charming, and I didn't have anywhere for them to sleep. I didn't have a couch or anything. Next thing I know, he had sent me a couch from his place, and a pull-out couch for my parents to stay.
Oh, nice.
Just a lovely, lovely guy. But during the movie, it was like he was Otto Preminger.
Yeah.
if you know what I mean. He was like, we can replace you, this is quiet and don't blink, and he did a lot of threatening. And then he was a pussycat, but you were on the ball. You had to do what he said to do, and otherwise you shot it again. And he was right. He knew what he was doing from day one.
Yes, it's interesting too because he did Faster Pussycat Kill Kill, and when Quentin Tarantino had done Death Proof, I don't know how many people noticed the references to Russ Myers in that film, especially when Kurt Russell at some point in the movie is beat up by 3 women. Total Russ Myers. Yep. So I knew what he was going for there, and the influence Russ Myers had.
Yeah. God love him. He was lovely. When I was turning 50, Dick went around to all of our friends and wanted a little video of everybody, and he called Hugh Hefner, and Hefner came in his pajamas, and Dick shot that, and then he called Russ to get Russ's in little thoughts, and Russ called back, and he was so upset he thought I died, and Dick was otherwise why would Dick call him about me? And he thought I had died, so he said, "Oh, thank God, I thought you died." He said, "No, this is a good call."
Did you have any interactions with Roger Ebert, who co-wrote the movie?
Not much. Not much at all. He was very much in the background.
Mm-hmm.
Marcia had more input with him. The lady that played the drummer in there.
Yeah.
And she and he really connected. I guess they lived close by or something, but. It was no. He was mostly in the background. He was very quiet, very sweet, but when you're with Russ Meyer, he like is a shining light in the room. And but I did know Chaz, his wife.
Mm-hmm.
She's just wonderful.
Yes. Well, of course.
And she did a for his birthday, even though he had died, for his birthday, she did a retrospect at the Sabin Theater in Beverly Hills.
Okay.
And she ran Beyond the Valley of the Dolls. And I got to tell you, the place was jammed. They had the Strawberry Alarm Clock now on stage.
Oh, wow.
And, it was such a kick. And all I wanted to do was stand in the aisle and dance, as people were doing. It's amazing. It's amazing how it stands up.
Yes, and of course
it really does. I always used to say it was so bad it was great.
Oh, I loved it. Yeah. Loved it. I like stuff that tries to be different, and Beyond the Valley of the Dolls is definitely that.
Oh boy, that and it was such a shame that 20th Century Fox didn't. They dropped the ball on it, and it made Russ very upset. They didn't go out of their way to make any big deal of it, and it made a hell of a lot of money for 20th Century Fox, because you can imagine it was shot for under $1 million.
Yeah.
And it's made so much money.
Yes. Well, you think they'd appreciate that? I mean, people. Yeah. So many people today just making the same movie over and over. It's nice to see something fresh.
Where did the imagination go, I wonder?
I don't know. Like, I don't know. It's just that you're just seeing Xeroxes, like. I'd much rather watch something like Beyond the Valley of the Dolls than the latest Xerox of Transformers,
Yeah.
Yeah. But you got
Yeah.
to do the Carrie Nations with Cynthia Myers and Marcia McBroom and making some
That
sweet
was
music.
Oh boy, that was fun. They were such a kick.
Yeah. Marcia McBroom, of course, trouble for poor Harrison Page.
Yeah, I love that scene where Harrison comes in and
The
the
boxer.
guy's
Oh,
name?
the boxer. Just a second.
James, right? His name is James Englehart.
Yeah.
Randy Black.
Yeah.
Boy, he was. I've seen him many times on TV since then, but I hope Harrison is working a lot because he's just a lovely, lovely guy.
Oh, he is. Yep.
He really is.
I love that scene where he stands in front of the car there, and you just see up close of the James.
Oh, yeah, I remember that like it was yesterday.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
Yeah, and I kept thinking
onto that car. I don't know.
I kept thinking, why does he keep going back to Marcia? She's in trouble.
Yeah, you think, well, this one's trouble.
And of course, Cynthia Myers.
You've got a point there.
Yeah, and Cynthia Myers didn't quite make it to the end, but I gotta tell you, that was quite a frightening piece of film there at the end.
Oh, and didn't you love how when Harrison got out of the car, all this mayhem is happening, all this shooting and oh my God, stabbing and everything else. And he says, now he's in a wheelchair, right?
Yeah.
And we're trying to get out of the car, and he says, Kelly, I can move my feet. I can use my toes. Oh my gosh, that was funny.
Yeah.
That was funny. With all this mayhem going on. And suddenly, and the audience gets it, which I love.
Yep.
I just love that.
Absolutely. And of course, you have Michael Bloodshot as Lance. There's an interesting performance.
Yes. Oh, Mike was funny. He was Steve Stunning, and so this is not to speak badly of him because he was a terrific guy, and he's not with us anymore. But he just before, especially in the bed scenes, just before he was going to shoot, I was going to shoot something with him. I would go, oh, you've got something here on your face. And he'd go, what, makeup? But he got onto me. He knew that I was just kidding him. And, but he, it drove him nuts.
Yeah.
He was the gorgeous one. And I'd say, oh, you got a hair out of place here. And we got makeup. Oh, dear.
Yeah, he wound up in a bad position in that movie.
Oh, boy, didn't he? That poor guy.
Yeah.
He wrote a fabulous book called There Was a Crooked Mile or something like that, and it was made into a movie, and he did very well.
Oh, yes. I didn't know about that.
And during the movie, he was he had a thing with Cynthia Myers.
Can't blame him there.
No, can't blame that at all. No.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah. Okay, I thought I lost you there. I guess not. But no, although Cynthia Myers, I mean, he could have went after you.
Oh, but I had already met Dick, so I missed out on all of that.
Yeah.
But not really missed out, because it turned out to be incredible. But there was one time when we first started shooting, and I had fixed Cynthia up with Bill Bixby. Remember Bill Bixby?
I know that name. In fact, I think somebody's doing
Incredible Hulk, The Courtship of Eddie's Father.
I know who you're talking about because one of my past interviewees is a writer, and he's actually going to do a book about Bill Bixby.
Oh, yes, David, right?
Yeah, David Grove.
Right. I did an interview with him about Bill, and I sent him some pictures because Bill was a dear friend of ours. And I fixed Cynthia up with Bill. It didn't. It worked out kind of for a little while, but she was just gorgeous.
Yeah. No, I had David Grove on. Yeah, 3 years ago. Yeah.
He was a playmate.
Yes.
I was the first English playmate.
Who, Cynthia?
No, I was.
Oh,
the
you
first
was.
English playmate in 1966. I think she was 68. 1968, I think she was. I'm not sure.
Let's talk about you being a playmate. I've had a few the bunnies on here in the past, and
Have you?
yeah, I've had Martha Smith from National Lampoon's Animal House on.
Yeah.
Debbie Sue Voorhees from Friday the 13th Part 5. Lauren Jennifer Gates. I mean, I may have had others, but they come immediately to mind. And they've all said great things about Hugh Hefner. Talk about working with
wonderful.
him.
Do you know that on our when Dick and I got married, Hugh Hefner's wedding gift to us was 6-foot tall painting of Dick and my wedding day, painted by Leroy Neiman.
Oh, wow.
And it's just beautiful. How he did it, I don't know, but when it was just the most wonderful birthday gift. I mean, not birthday gift, wedding gift. It was a wonderful gift, and it's sitting in my house now.
Mm-hmm.
He was just a lovely, lovely guy. But when I first came over to America, it was 1965, I think. There were 6 girls that came over to train to be bunnies so that we could open the club in London.
Mm-hmm.
And so for 6 months, we had to learn every single thing there was about being a bunny, from the door bunny to the game bunny to the VIP to the showroom. And it was so tough, I can't tell you, because we worked till 4 in the morning, and then we had to get up and do publicity for the London Club and television and radio, and I was shooting my Playmate session too. Mm-hmm. So, boy, at the end of 6 months, we were all exhausted, and we went home, and I said, I can't do this anymore. There were 30,000 people we interviewed that came to be interviewed. We didn't interview 30,000, but some of them weren't even women. They had like fur coats on and then did a flash job. But what they didn't understand is we were looking for the girl next door type, which is what Hefner insisted on. And so I remember the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia at the time, Prince Fahid, asked me to go out for dinner. And Victor Lowndes, who was the vice president of Playboy at the time, lived in England. And I said, I'm not going out with him. I said, my mother is in town. He said, well, bring your mother. So my mother and myself and Victor and his lady and the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, Prince Fahid, who we called Faddy. Why we called him Faddy. And he gave each of us £100, and he made on roulette. He made £32,000 that night, and I made $6,000. And that's how I came to America. And I spent $3,000 on my family, buying them stuff and whatever. And then I came over to America and got my green card, I lived on that for over a year.
Oh, wow.
And I stayed at the mansion in Chicago,
Mm-hmm.
and because I trained in Chicago to be the bunny, and it was wonderful. That's where I met Shel Silverstein and Mort Saul and Dick Cavett. It was every Sunday they would have movies at the mansion.
Okay.
This was the mansion in Chicago, and it was wonderful.
Well, I gotta say, you're one of the most gorgeous bunnies I ever had.
Well, I don't know about that because I got turned down for the Los Angeles Club.
They don't have taste.
They're really angry because he wanted me to be a bunny in L.A. And I said to him, but I got turned down because they're all so skinny in L.A. with big boobs and teeny tiny little bodies, and that's not me. I'm more of Rubenesque type, but he understood.
Well, I always been told I had good taste in women, so if I say you're one of the best ones, you could take my word for it.
Now, isn't that sweet? That's so sweet of you. Thank you.
You're welcome. I've asked this of the other women that's been bunnies. Have you got any of the memorabilia from it? Like I've had ones say they had the cufflinks or whatever. Do you have anything?
No, I don't.
You don't have the bunny ears?
No, isn't that awful? And I should have kept the costume. Apparently, somebody sold their costume for $40,000.
Oh, wow.
You believe that?
Yeah, wow.
Unbelievable. Boy, if only I'd held on to that thing.
Oh, wow.
But it's been I got to tell you, it's been a wonderful life. I think that my life is a little scary because it seems to be all in the past. But I'm enjoying it with all my memories. But I did have a wonderful life.
Well, you deserved it. You worked hard for it.
Of course, but,
Yeah. Well, I've heard good things about Hugh Hefner, so...
Oh, he's just a doll. He's just a doll. And never came on to me, just was very sweet. I knew a lot of the girlfriends that he was going with, and they all had to be virgins in the beginning of his... in Chicago when we were there. He liked to only go out with virgins.
Okay.
Isn't that wild?
Yeah.
Little known fact there.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
I think it changed when he moved to L.A. But,
yeah. I was going to say, going back to Beyond the Valley of the Dolls, one of the most amusing performances in the movie, and I got a kick out of this guy, was Duncan MacLeod as Porter Hall.
Oh, gosh. Wasn't he a hoot?
Yeah, he kept putting his foot in his mouth.
Well, you know the scene where I'm teaching him to smoke grass.
Okay, yeah.
We're in the bedroom, and I'm teaching him to smoke grass. Well, they gave me pipe tobacco, and in those days, I didn't smoke or do anything. I was so good, and
yeah.
They gave me this pipe tobacco in a pipe. So I had to show him how to smoke grass. So I was inhaling 17 takes. 17 takes that took, because every time I would inhale, I would choke, cough. I said, can't you put something in this that is not pipe tobacco. I mean, I'm not a smoker, and I just, oh my God! In the end, I think when I inhaled, they had to cut away because there's no possible way that I could not do that without choking.
Yeah. Well, I gotta say, Porter was Duncan was so funny as Porter. He was just a schemer, and he brought a lot of the comic relief to that movie.
He's wonderful. I have not seen him around. I don't know. Is he still around?
Actually, I don't know if he is. I've some of these people, like on Wikipedia or whatnot, their names you can't link them. Say, like Harris, for example, you can't link him. I suppose I can go on IMDb and see, but I have not.
Really?
Yeah.
Go to IMDb.
Yeah, Internet Movie Database.
Really, I'll do that.
Yeah, I haven't looked them up in particular, but maybe there might be something there. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Such a sweet kid.
Yeah.
Such a sweet kid.
And of course, Edie Williams playing Ashley Cena.
Yeah.
She played a vixen. She tried to take your manager.
Have you interviewed her?
I haven't. Is she? I know she's around. I don't know if there's.
I haven't been in contact with her, but I think she is in Palm Springs. I'm not sure, but she still apparently looks the same.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, apparently.
I think you still look the same.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's very sweet. I'm going to send you a picture of how I look now.
Doesn't bother me any.
No.
But
it's fine. I remember Dick saying once, when I've run out of pictures, he said, because he had a stack of these pictures, and he said, when I've run out of these pictures, I'm out of show business, because I'm not going to have pictures taken of how I look now. But I've had loads of pictures taken of how I am now, so I'm not so bad. But
I don't think so. No.
Nothing like I was.
Well, there's that picture you have on Facebook where you're at a desk signing something. I think you look fine there.
Yes, that wasn't that long ago. No.
Yeah, you look fine. Yeah.
Thank you.
I mean, we all got it. We all got to get older, but I tell you, you look better than I do.
According to whom?
Me.
Oh, come on. We're always our own worst enemies, aren't we?
Oh, yeah. Oh, well.
Yeah.
But I'm going to tell you, though, Edie was really funny in the movie. And, of course, the Z-Man was taking a liking to Kelly, your character. Yeah. She was going after the manager. And, of course, he wasn't able to perform with her. She got bored.
With the toes.
Yep.
When she said he liked to suck her toes or something, and she said, "You must not get many offers." He had the sandals on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was quite the seductress.
Yeah. Boy, but she oozed the sex appeal. That was incredible. Whenever, I know it's strange, but even when I was a playmate, I never, ever thought I was sexy or anything like that. And certainly not as sexy as Edie. She was sex personified. I mean, she oozed it. When I was having my playmate picture done, and they said, rub your nipples. And I said, why? And they said, well, it makes them stand up. I said, it does? So naive. And I said, is that good? And they said, yeah, it's very sexy. So I also remember having to rub my nipples before I had a picture taken. It was a nude one. But she didn't have to do any of that, because she was so her character. It was so good. I think that I got the part, and so did Marcia and Cynthia, because we hadn't been around that much in town in the movies or anything, and we were naive, and that's the look that they wanted. That
Okay.
we come to L.A., these naive people come to L.A., and then we're into this den of iniquity.
Yes. Well,
I loved it.
oh yeah, well, she was great in the movie, and of course we had mentioned I can't think of the name of the actress, Phyllis Davis, who played Kelly's aunt. Yes.
Loved Phyllis. I loved Phyllis. I've worked with her since we did a Vegas together, and she just such a lovely person,
Yes, and
ill.
yeah. What's that?
But she was driving around in a big motorhome, and she had a parrot, I heard, and but I think she got lupus.
Okay.
Yeah, I've lost touch with her. She was a lovely, gorgeous girl.
She's great in the movie.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Yeah,
Very
commanding.
Yes. Loved it.
And Erica Gavin playing Roxanne.
Oh, I saw Erica at an autograph show, and she looks dynamite. She's got this pixie cut hairdo.
Okay.
And she just looks better than I've ever seen her. I mean, she just looks fabulous. And it was such a joy. We were right next to each other in this autograph show. And it was such a joy for 2 days to be with her.
Wow.
She's a lovely, lovely girl.
Yeah, I bet Cynthia Myers thought so.
Huh?
I bet Cynthia Myers thought so.
Yeah. Oh, my goodness. I don't know how I would have been in that part, but not as good as Cynthia. Oh, my goodness. I'm glad I was Kelly.
And, of course, somebody who was long past us, but man, I think he was such an underrated actor, and he's good in everything he's done, from the Blues Brothers to Silence of the Lambs. I'm talking about Charles Napier. He was really good in this.
Oh, gosh, yeah. Is he no longer with us?
He passed away in 2011. I actually was looking him up to do an interview, and I was like, oh, wow, he's gone.
Wow, he was such a good actor.
He was a great actor. Very underrated.
Oh, underrated. Totally underrated. That's right. What a great guy. Baxter Wolf. Don't you love the names?
Baxter Wolf, yep.
In them. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, Porter Hall. Well, Charles worked right up to the end. Like, I mean, he's had quite a career, like the Blues Brothers and Silence of the Lambs, and like he's done a lot of stuff. He was even in Austin Powers, which had he was always great to see, and
he was, and he did a great job. Everything he did a great job. He was, you liked his character. You just were drawn to him. He was a great actor. I loved him.
Yeah, and he could do pretty much any type of movie. Like in the Blues Brothers, he was the lead singer of the Good Old Boys, and he was very comical in that. And then you see him in Silence. Right. Then you see him in Silence of the Lambs, where he's caught in that bad predicament. Very underrated actor. Yeah. Wow. I need to know, what was the most difficult challenging part of doing this movie?
Actually, it was something that didn't get on screen.
Oh.
They made me up to be an old woman and put me in a casket.
Okay.
And then had me do a rap. And it never made it to the screen because I don't know, they changed their minds, but they went to a great deal of trouble in making me this to be really, really old. And then, but I guess, I don't know why it didn't go on. Maybe I wasn't very good as a rapper. I don't know. But they were using my voice as the rapper at that time. So I don't know. And those were the days before rap. And it was difficult. He said, like the Music Man, he said, you got to do it like, I was clueless.
Okay.
So that was the most difficult for me. And, but I just came alive when we were singing. I just loved that. As I said, it fulfilled every fantasy. That was definitely on my bucket list.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great movie. And I've got to touch on a couple of projects you did before that. Kiss of the Vampire. I haven't seen this.
Oh, my goodness. Did you ever see that movie?
I haven't. No, actually, when I was researching you, I was putting down some credits that you had done, and I'd never heard of this. Talk about the film and what you...
Productions. That's right.
Yeah.
I was 17.
Okay.
And Dick got it for me as a surprise, and we watched it. It wasn't a bad movie, actually, but I had my hair like Princess Leia.
Okay.
With the curls at the side. And it was... It's a cat. I'm sorry, the cat's meowing at me. And we were watching the movie, and I said, "That's my voice." And we rewound it, and I got eaten by bats.
Oh.
And then I came over here and did the Tender Touch.
Yep, I was just going to bring that up. I haven't seen that either.
No, you could easily miss that.
Oh, that wasn't very good?
No, it wasn't very good. No, but I loved. After that, I did Charlie's Angels, where I played the bad guy.
You could have been one of the angels.
Huh?
You could have been one of the angels.
Oh, I don't think so.
I think so. You're as beautiful as the other angels.
Well, I loved playing the bad guy, and I think I did 2 Charlie's Angels, and then I did Vegas, a couple of Vegases, and but the favorite thing, of course, was game shows.
Yeah, was it Matchmaker?
No, the Tattletales we did.
Oh, Tattletales.
And Match Game.
Match Game, that's what I was trying to think of. You did that with your husband, didn't you?
Pardon?
You did that with your husband, didn't you?
Yes. But if you ever saw Tattletales, it was 3 couples, and we chose who the couples would be. So it would be like Steve Lawrence and Edie Gourmet, and Bob Newhart and Ginny, his wife, who happened to be dear friends of ours, and Dick and me. Well, we did 5 shows. And after the first show, they would give some wine. So it was the husbands had to say how the wife would answer, and then you'd be playing for that person in the audience, those people in the audience. And it got so rowdy and so funny that they had to cut a lot of it because the laughter was hysterical. I mean, so we always have fun, and you should never do anything unless it's fun.
Oh, I agree.
Philosophy in life.
I take it that Tender Touch.
Imagine going to work and hating it.
Oh, I've been there.
Have you?
Not this. This is a volunteer.
Have you really?
This is a volunteer what I'm doing here. This is fun, but I've been to jobs where I hated going, but you need a paycheck, so.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
Isn't that the truth? I remember when I was, before I did Beyond the Valley of the Dolls and I was struggling, I did I went to the International House of Pancakes.
Okay.
I wanted to be to go to be a waitress, and they said this terrible woman. She said to me, "Oh no, this is hard work." I said, "No, I'm used to hard work. I can do it." And she said, "No, you can't. This is," and she wouldn't even give me a chance.
Oh.
And for 20 years, I didn't go into the International House of Pancakes at all because I said, how can they turn someone down when they really need you need a job? So I didn't. I held a vendetta for 20 years.
That's unfortunate, too, because how do they know whether you can do the job or not?
That's right. They never even gave me a chance.
Yeah.
I even said to her, give me a chance. Let me just work. No.
Wow.
She didn't even let me do that. So that was it for me. But I was a good waitress.
Yeah.
And then I had a job as I was a secretary to God, I can't think of her name. It was Lana Turner's husband, one of her husbands.
Okay.
He was a shrink, and oh boy, did he cheat on her! But he was terrible. And he said, my wife. He said, you can't be Dolly. I said, why not? And he said, because my wife would not accept a Dolly. So my real name is Margaret. And so I had to be Margaret for that job because Lana, when she called up, she didn't want to speak to Dolly. She would have been in that office, he said, and just cracked the whip. But that marriage didn't last long for them either.
Obviously. Doesn't sound like she was a lot of fun to be around.
Oh, God. He would say to me, if you come back from lunch and my door is locked, go away. So he knew what he was up to.
Oh, my.
Isn't that awful?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I agree. Yeah. I take it that Tender Touch was not a fun job to go to either.
No, it was a fun job. But
okay.
It was a job.
Oh, okay.
That's all it was.
Okay. Let's go back to Charlie's Angels. You say playing a villain. Now, talk about that experience.
Oh, I loved it. Boy, it was so good. And let's see, there's a guy on it, Collins.
Mm-hmm.
The guy that was blackballed. Yeah, he had his wife divorced him, and that was big scandal about him with underage or something. I don't know, but his last name was Collins. Stephen Collins.
Okay.
Yeah, nice. I thought he was a nice guy, but obviously not. But he and I was worse than he was. I mean, I was the murderess.
Oh, okay.
I loved it.
Oh, wow. Well, I hear.
Have you ever had a fantasy like you're going along in a car and some a-hole is in front of you that is just horrible and just and you wish you had an old clunker so that you could just go and smack him one. Yep. Well, that was that's one on my bucket list too, actually.
I've been in there. Yeah, I've been there.
To say that I'm in the car, that I'm Rhonda Road Rage, and that he was Paul Pleasant. In other words, I get all my aggressions out in the car, and we were actually. There's a comic here called Tim Conway, and his wife, Sharky Conway, and him were staying at my house. And we were all in the car, and I was driving, and we were backing out of the garage. And I go, God, and I start swearing. And Dick said, look at this. We haven't even left the garage yet. She's already starting. Oh dear.
You just get warmed up.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I'm
Well,
a good driver. I'm not a rotten driver, but I can't stand it when someone silly things like when they don't use their indicators. They're going to save them for a rainy day.
yeah, I hear you. Yep. One of my worst is when I come to a light, and I've had this happen a few times here, where a light will, the walk light will go on, and then it'll go off, and then it'll go on again. I'm sitting there at a red light, and I'm like, really? Like,
Oh my!
oh, it's like, and I'm
That's
afraid.
when you wish you had an old clunker that you could just barrel ass your way through.
Well, I was wondering there one night, like, do I go through this? No, my luck, I get that on camera, and then I get in trouble. But yet the lights wasn't working, you know?
Yeah, you see, with our luck, a policeman would be right there.
Yep.
Anybody else do it, nothing happens. But when I used to live in Malibu, and PCH, Pacific Coast Highway, was just, awful. And you saw such violations of road rage and everything else, but no one was there to find them. But if you didn't stop at a stop sign, boy, they're there to get you.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And it wouldn't matter whether there was anybody around.
That's right. That's right.
Yep. Yep. So that's one of my pet peeves too, you know. People, of course, not using their signals.
Yeah.
That's
Dick was 86 when he died, and when he was about 82, I go into the garage, and he had gone through the garage wall.
Oh.
He'd come into the garage and then gone further. And I said, "What is this?" He said, "Oh, Dolly, it's nothing." And I said, "I'm taking those keys away." He said, pretty soon. But love his heart. But then I took him to, funny story, I don't know if you want to hear this.
Go ahead, please.
Many times he had, in the last few years of his life, I had to take him to the hospital. And so he was about 85 at this point, and Total had he was sharp as a tack to the day he died. I never saw him as old, never, ever. And he's in the room, and this little perky girl comes in, and she says, "Oh, Mr. Martin, how nice to see you." She said, "What is your goal?" And he said, "I beg your pardon." She said, "What is your goal when you leave here?" And he looks at me, and he looks at her, and he said, "To learn to tap dance." She writes it down. Now he's 84, 85. And so the next time he goes in there, another little girl walks in, and she said, "So, Mr. Martin, I hear you want to learn to tap dance." He looks at me, and he said, "We're in a lot of fucking trouble."
I guess he didn't take the lessons.
But that's how he was. He was just wonderful.
You were married to him for a very long time, and you hear about
40 years, yeah.
How many?
And 40 years.
Oh, wow.
But we did divorce. We divorced 2 years after we got married because he told me that I knew he couldn't have children because he had a vasectomy. He had 2 boys anyway, but he said, "No, we'll adopt." So 2 years into the marriage, I said, "Can we start adopting?" He said, "Adopting what?" I said, "A baby." He said, No. I said, "But you said that we could." He said, "I lied."
Oh.
So a friend of his said, "You've got to go to this shrink." So I went to this guy, and he was a terrible, terrible guy. And he said, he looked like my grandfather, though. And he said, you get divorced and you get divorced today. And I said, no, I don't want to get divorced. He said, no, it'll do him good, it'll do you good, and here's your attorney. So he gives me this card of this guy. And so I get divorced, and Dick and I are still talking and everything. And my lawyer called Dick and said she wants so much more money than I ever said. So Dick said to me, is this how you want to play it? And I said, no. Don't pay me anything. I don't care. Well, we were dating for the few months, and we started living together again because we loved each other. I mean, the fact that I had to come to terms about not being a mother was one thing, but I couldn't. He was my life partner. And so one day he looks at me because the judge awarded me $4,000 a month for 4 years. Mm-hmm. And I'm living with him, and he says, why do I have to pay you? I said, don't pay me. I don't care. And he said, the judge says I got to pay you, and he bangs on the table. And so I kicked back $2,000 a month to him in cash because he wrote me off, tax-wise. And then I got, so for 4 years, we did this for 4 years. The day after the 4 years were over, we got married again, and we just said the divorce didn't work out. Yeah.
That's actually pretty funny.
So ours has not been what you call your normal relationship.
Yeah, I like that. Got married because the divorce didn't work out.
Divorce didn't work out. No.
So you never did have children?
No. I've got a step grandson who is tall, dark, and handsome, and I've got two stepsons who are just lovely. One living in Canada and one living here. And the one living in Canada is a director and an editor. He just came back from Cannes with a documentary that he did. So, I'm blessed.
Yeah, that didn't work out too bad for you,
No, it didn't.
I've never wanted children, so...
Really?
No, I've never wanted children. I just,
Are you married?
No.
Well, that's what you usually have to do first.
Even if I get married, I just don't want children. I just never did. I don't have the patience for them. I have a cat, and that's all the patience I need.
Yeah, get a dog. That'll teach patience.
Oh, my cat's doing it enough. Gee, won't let me sleep.
Yeah, I've got a cat and a dog, and the cat thinks she's a dog. And I broke my neck last year. My dog pulled me over, and I fell on my face, and they didn't take an X-ray of my neck. And one day I couldn't lift my neck off of the pillow, and I had broken the neck. This was last year. Oh. And so I had a 5.5-hour operation, and I had 2 screws and a plate so I could put in the back of my neck. Mm-hmm. So when my friend of mine said, "You got to get a puppy. Boy, I could have just hit her because that's what happens. She's a standard poodle, and she's very strong. And she saw a rabbit, and she took off for that rabbit and took me off with her. So no more animals for me.
Well, hopefully the cat won't trip you.
Yeah, they're wonderful. I love animals.
Yeah, you had mentioned on Facebook that you had, especially when you and I first connected, you mentioned about your neck. Was that a painful operation?
Oh, gosh, yeah. I was in a neck brace for 3 months, 24/7, and it was tough. It was really tough. I walked around for 2 days with not knowing I had a broken neck. So, you know,
Wow.
yeah, but I have wonderful friends who were there all the time. And as you know, Lori, my assistant, she's wonderful too.
Yes, she
And
is.
so everything was, I've had wonderful people around me that have helped me. It's just like Dick was leaving me in good hands.
He did. He did. I'm going to say what it reminds me of. We just lost the wrestler, the living legend, Bruno Sammartino. And I remember there was a story about Bruno Sammartino was in a bout with Stan Hansen. And Stan Hansen did a pile driver on him. And
Wow.
and he accidentally broke Bruno's neck. And
Oh, my God.
Bruno went the rest of the match and wrestled it and won the match. But
Wow.
yep. And it was funny because
Wow.
Stan Hansen did not know that he had broke his neck, and he was so apologetic about it. And I think it was Superstar Billy Graham. He was so afraid that he talked to Superstar Billy Graham about it. And Superstar Billy Graham had called up Bruno, and this is how the story goes. And he said, I need to put somebody on the phone with you. And Bruno forgave Stan because Stan had gone there and he apologized. He said, I'd never do that to get ahead. And Bruno forgave him,
Isn't that sweet?
Yeah.
Ah.
But
Well, I broke the C1, which is where when they hang you. Apparently, that's where they want to put the knot, because that will crack your neck. That will be it. But so I'm very fortunate. There's someone looking out after me.
Yes, I guess God's smiling on you, and I hope he is.
Yes, I hope he is.
I hope so. Well, I got to ask if you've got any charities that you're involved with.
The Barbara Sinatra Children's Center in Palm Springs. That and the guide dogs.
Okay.
Blind, because my brother in England is blind,
Mm-hmm.
and of course the animal charities, Bound Angels. Bound Angels is a wonderful charity that these people go to shelters and they train animals that are not adoptable and make them adoptable, if you know what I mean.
Oh, wow.
And it's just wonderful. They're lovely. And one-on-one, it doesn't go into a great... I don't like charities that they only get 50% of what... I like to know where my money is going.
Mm-hmm.
Trouble is, you send donations, and once you send the donations, then all you get in the mail is wanting money.
Yeah, I hear you there. Yeah, I've supported a lot of charities that the people I've interviewed been involved in, and a lot of animal charities have come in. I know when I went to Toronto, Lisa was involved in one called Dogs of Asia, because the treatment of dogs in Asia.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. They eat them, don't they?
Yeah, and I made a donation for her on that. And Howard Stern and his wife Beth are involved in one called North Shore Animal League, where animals that, rather than have them kept in cages, they get to roam around, and until they find some adoption. I don't know how it's set up, but Howard and Beth have done a great job of promoting that, and I even donated to that.
Wow.
Yeah, and I've done one when Robin Williams passed away called the Doubtfire Face Challenge.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, for suicide and
Robin
depression.
Williams.
Yeah, for suicide and depression. It was kind of a take off the ice bucket challenge.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Only this one was for suicide and depression, and it involved taking videoing yourself taking a pie in the face and nominating 3 people.
Oh, gosh. And you could choose your own flavor?
Yep. Yeah.
Well, that's great.
Feel free to take part if you'd like.
I would do it.
Yeah. I've had some of my guests do it. Lisa Langlois did it. Nancy McLaughlin from Friday the 13th Part 6 did it, and she had some of the props from the movie behind her.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Deborah Shelton, who was in the movie Body Double, she was a former Miss USA. She hasn't done it yet. She's not very tech savvy, but she's going to do it. And her assistant, I've talked to her. She wants to nominate some of the Beverly Hills Housewives.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Wow.
But she definitely wants to do it, but she's not very tech savvy. So I'm myself and.
Well, how do you do it?
What you do is you film yourself, like you have somebody film you, and you do it, and it's for suicide and depression awareness. Mm-hmm. And if people want to donate to something, there's the Canadian or the American Foundation of Suicide and Depression Awareness, or foundation, you know. But but generally, you take a pie in the face. You can either pie yourself or you can have somebody pie you. And
I love it.
Yeah. And you just nominate 3 people. And one of my aims was to get the industry involved, because that's what people want to see.
Right, right.
And you know some people in the industry. So
I do. Boy. So you nominate 3 people after that?
Yeah, you take the pie in the face and you say, and I would like to nominate, and then you throw those out. And when it's done, you could have a Lori or whatever, whoever, send me the link, and I could put it up on my YouTube channel.
Oh, that's wild.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, I got to think about this. This is good.
Yeah, if you're up for it, yeah.
My alley.
Well, I keep thinking, you were in Beyond the Valley of the Dolls, and I'm like thinking, this is a Kelly thing.
Kelly McNamara.
Yeah. Well, the reason it's a pie in the face because Robin Williams and Mrs. Doubtfire stuck his face in the cake.
I loved him in that.
Yeah, and that's where it came, and
yeah.
And I'm not suicidal, but I've been hit with depression a few times, and when that hits, it just, yeah.
I think everybody does.
Yeah. So when I heard about this, like I grew up, I loved the whole pie in the face and stuff. Like I love that kind of humor,
Yeah. I bet you like the banana too, sleeping on the banana.
Well, I wouldn't recommend you do that. You've already.
Me neither.
After the dog, yeah. But stuff.
But I'm thinking of banana cream pie.
Sure. Yeah.
Might as well enjoy it.
Yes, absolutely.
I'm already thinking who I could talk into doing this. Maybe I'll get Bob Newhart to do it.
Well, there you go. There you go. There you go. Well, yeah, and
I think Ginny, his wife, would say, "Yeah, that's great." I know he would think it was, but maybe I'll ask him.
Well, there you go. Yep. Yep. And just don't let them slam it in your face. I don't want to see you hurt your neck, but just mush it in, that. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Yep.
And then lick it all off.
There you go. There you go. Yeah. If you want to do that, that would be great. That would be fantastic. And we could put that up. I got all my other ones up on YouTube right now. I even did it myself, so I'm not asking you to do anything I haven't done myself.
God love you.
Yeah.
What kind of pie did you have?
I just had, what kind of pie was it? I think it was lemon meringue, I think. So, I've been trying to get the industry involved, so I wanted to Yeah.
Good thinking.
I remember when I first got into it, I wanted to get Emma Stone to do it, but
Oh my, yeah, that
Yeah.
would be wonderful. I wonder why people would ever turn that down. It's for a great cause, and I think it would be fabulous.
well, Emma didn't necessarily turn it down. It's a matter of getting through the right channels, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep. So
yeah, that's true.
yeah. So I know if it's just going to take the right person to hit. To shoot it out there, and it's just I think this can go viral. I refuse
I do too.
to say
Boy,
to
I do too.
yeah,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
especially with the way things are going in the States right now. Yeah, I think this needs to be addressed. And of course,
I do too. I'm
Yeah.
with you.
yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Well, I'll send you an email about that. And
Great. I'm so glad you're going to do that, Greg. That's super.
well, I'm going to say if you know of anybody else, like from like Marcia McBroom or even Angie Dickinson, send them my way. I would love to have them come on.
Yes. Well, I know that Marcia McBroom would be fantastic. But I know she would be happy to talk to you.
Okay. All right.
She's such a nice girl.
Okay. All right.
And if when you talk to her, tell her I miss her, would you?
I will absolutely do that. Absolutely.
Great.
And, if you happen
Tell her
to,
I want her to do the pie.
you know what? I'll do that. I'll tell her. Yeah.
She
Absolutely.
would. I know she would.
Absolutely. And if you're talking to Angie Dickinson, I'd love to get somebody from Dress to Kill on here. So
Oh gosh, I will give her all the information
you
and
do that.
And have her permission for you to call her.
Yeah, because that way, because you've been on here, so you know what.
Oh sure.
Yeah.
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 Oh no, she's terrific. Angie is her voice is to die for too. Hello.
Yeah.
Oh, she's so sexy, this woman.
Well, you know what? We'll stay in touch.
Yeah.
Just be patient about the release of it.
Oh, of course.
Yep.
Of course.
But before I let you go, would you mind doing a plug for my show?
What, my love?
A plug for my show, like just
Oh, yes, of course.
yeah.
My pleasure. Hi, everybody. This is Dolly Read Martin, and I'm calling because Greg Gilbert is a fabulous guy. He's on Titan Paradise from New Brunswick, Canada, and what a dog he is, and what a great show he's got. Stay tuned.
Thank you so much, Dolly. I love you so much, and thank you for coming on here.
I so enjoyed talking to you, Greg. Thank you.
Absolutely. I'll be in touch with you. I'll send you the email, and I'll be in touch with you on Facebook as well.
Great.
And
Okay, my love. You have a good summer.
Thank you so much. God bless you.
You too. Bye, love.
Bye-bye.